while everybody is getting in, we're gonna get started on time. We have so much to talk about. And I want to say good morning for those of you here, and maybe good afternoon if you're joining from somewhere else. And welcome to this very special webinar event. We are thrilled that you're here today to hear an inspirational and insightful conversation with four amazing leaders in the real estate industry. I mean, these ladies, you know them. They are trailblazers. Not only are they setting the stage for the future of real estate here in the United States, they are also champions for empowering women in real estate around the globe. And of course, our conversation today is all about IPS in Dubai. IPS is the International Property Show, and from what I understand, it's the biggest real estate show platform in the Middle East. And these ladies not only attended that event last month, they took part in making it a huge success with a historic gathering and collaboration between the Women's Council of Realtors and IPS. So we're so excited. So whether you're a veteran in real estate like I am, or you're a newbie, or you just want to raise the voice of women in real estate, well, you're in the right place. You're going to take some notes and get ready to be inspired by the leadership, the innovation, and the outreach and impact that these ladies are making on a global stage. My name is Pamela Banks, and I have the honor to be the moderator for today's webinar. And my role this year is I am the Women's Council of Realtors Florida Global Project Team Chair. And so we have a lot to discuss. We have about an hour, give or take. So we are going to go ahead and get started. What we're going to do is I'm going to introduce all of the panelists so you can get to know these amazing leaders. And then we're going to get into some questions with each of them so you can hear their stories because they want to share their stories and their perspective of being there. And then we're going to talk about an upcoming event that the Women's Council of Realtors Florida has. We have some Q&A, and then we're going to have maybe some introductions of a few very special people that are joining us today. So we want to get started. I'm going to start with introducing one of our really great speakers, and that is our national president, Tammy Knowles Adams. Tammy Knowles Adams is a realtor from Atlanta, Georgia. Proudly serves as the 2025 president of the National Women's Council of Realtors. As a Southern Regional coach for Better Homes and Gardens, Tammy brings passion and dedication to mentoring. She inspires others to elevate their business and leadership vision to unprecedented heights. A celebrated figure in Georgia's real estate community, Tammy has received numerous accolades, including Realtor of the Year from the Metro South Association of Realtors and Member of the Year for the Women's Council of Realtors in Georgia. Her leadership extends across local, state, and national associations, where she has held key roles such as local director, state director, committee chair, and such going on and on. Tammy is in RPAC, which is the Realtors Political Action Committee Crystal R President's Circle, major investor, crediting her involvement with the Women's Council as a driving force behind her career, success, and influence in the industry. Tammy's favorite color is purple, so is mine. I like it. And her 2025 presidential theme is Stronger Together, which embodies her vision for unity and empowerment within the real estate community. Tammy's personal motto is family first. And with that being said, Tammy is going to be joining us a little later. She is dealing with family right now, so she is definitely taking her motto to heart. Next, we have Sorellis Yanes. Sorellis is a highly accomplished broker associate with over 22 years of experience and a business degree, known for delivering excellence results across residential sales, bank-owned properties, and investment portfolios. A former title agency owner, she brings expertise in contracts, closing, and maximizing returns for sellers in smooth strategic transaction. She proudly serves as the 2025 Florida District Vice President for the Women's Council of Realtors, Governor for the Miami Association of Realtors, and IPS Global Ambassador. In 2024, she led as president of the Women's Council of Realtors Miami, and she continues to be a champion for diversity through collaboration with many, many other organizations. Sorellis also holds other designations, and there's a lot of them. Congratulations. I'm not going to read all of them. And what I'd like you to know about Sorellis is beside everything she does, she is an RPAC, Crystal R President's Circle member, investor as well. But outside of real estate, Sorella is a dedicated community volunteer with Autism Speaks, Kiwanis, and the PTA. She finds joy in dancing, and we've seen her moves. She's really good, traveling, and boating the waters of the vibrant Miami. So we're glad to have you, Sorellis. Next, and can you hear me, everybody? Is my speaker okay?
Yes.
Hi, hi everyone. It's good to see your beautiful faces. Love to see you. Next, we have Michelle Rojos. She's the member of the Women's Council of Realtors Miami-Dade and the IPS Education Chair. With an unwavering dedication to her craft, Michelle has been a driving force in the real estate industry and mortgage industry since 1994. You're just dating yourself just a little, Michelle, but that's okay. Launching her career immediately after high school. Very cool. Over the years, she has witnessed and adapted to the dynamic evolution of both her city and industry, continuously growing both personally and professionally. Committed to staying ahead of her vast experience as a broker owner, agent coach, manager, and mortgage lender to provide expert guidance. Having to navigate multiple market cycles, Michelle offers invaluable insight and a steadfast commitment to inspiring and empowering her colleagues and clients. In 2018, she transitioned to mortgage lending, joining forces with her husband to lead the Miami branch of Novus Home Mortgage. She's a passionate advocate for women in the industry, and she actively participates in organizations such as Florida Association of Mortgage Professionals, RISE, Women in Mortgage, and the Mortgage Bankers Association. Please welcome Michelle. We're glad to have you on the panel. And then we have one more esteemed guest joining us on our panel, and that is Anita Lambert. Anita is a realtor with downtown Sarasota office of Premier Sotheby's International Realty. She has triple nationality as an American, a Swiss, and English citizen, and is fluent in English, German, and speaks several other European languages. Very cool. She and her husband, Frank, make up the Lambert team, with whom she has many years of experience in the real estate business, including development, marketing, sales, and custom home construction and interior design industry. She's been a member of the Women's Council since 2016 and has been the president of the Sarasota Network in the COVID years 2020 and 2021, as well as a district vice president. And she was my chair last year of the global project team for the Women's Council of Realtors Florida. She serves on many committees. She's very dedicated to the industry. She loves to travel for trade missions all over the world, building a referral network and learning about real estate industries in other parts of the world, and has traveled exclusively to Colombia to support Fedelonas. Did I say that okay? Fedelonas, the Colombian Real Estate Association. Anita is also an RPAC Crystal R and President's Circle investor. She serves as RPAC chair for her local association. She loves to golf with her husband, do yoga, and spend time at their home in the San Juan Mountains in Southwest Colorado. That sounds fabulous. Where she likes to also visit her daughters in Indiana, that has 4 grandchildren, as well as daughter in Charlotte, North Carolina with 2. So you have 6 grandchildren, right, Anita?
That's right.
I have 7, so got to be. Frank and Anita's motto is artfully uniting extraordinary homes with extraordinary lives. I think that's great. Welcome, Anita.
Thank you very much.
So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and now get into some questions that we have prepared for these wonderful ladies that are joining us. First, we're going to start with Sorellis because Sorellis, you were the organizer of this collaboration and you worked for a long time. I know we have chatted probably over 6 months, maybe even longer, that you had this in your heart. So, what inspired you to organize a women's real estate session in Dubai?
First of all, good morning to all. Thank you all for being with us, especially the delegates that attended Dubai and are back for a little recap here. Um, I think what inspired me was when I attended in 2024 and I was given the opportunity to speak. I was approached about the idea of a global empowerment collaboration, a women global empowerment collaboration. And as I looked at the stats and as I was there in the conference and had, you know, other professionals speak to me and see the challenges that they face, that they're nothing like us, I felt that there was a need for us to establish that, to kind of set up a platform where we could, little by little plant seeds of love and grow that relationship. So my inspiration came from a place of being approached and seeing a vision where we could collaborate, empower the women in Dubai overall. There only a third of them are in the profession, so that was very important to me. And also just expand ourselves as professional and the Women's Council brand.
That's fabulous. And I'm sure that I know there was so much excitement there. I saw the photos on Facebook. It was amazing. But what were some of the goals that you wanted to accomplish in this first event that you actually organized there?
So obviously, like I just mentioned, the visibility of women professionals on the global realm, that was one of the goals because I do believe that we do, attend, but we're not seen that way. So for all of us to see ourselves in those shoes, to inspire others, to elevate the visibility, to foster meaningful conversations with stakeholders as far as like the challenges that we face, and also establish relationships with developers and with Dubai, they're innovators. So it was very important because it was a big opportunity. Their country is they're so fast paced that, why not? Why not? Why not take that leap of faith and let it be known that we're all here to empower each other and to grow and nourish relationships.
And I think you accomplished that from what I understand. And so that's fabulous. And what kind of feedback are you getting from those that attended?
Well, from the delegates, we have from delegates that attended the first time, and they're just like still at a cloud nine of inspiration. Some have said that this has reset the real estate vision that they had for themselves. We also have, a layer of relationship for the council that now it's opening doors with possibilities with other countries, which, the delegates have that interest. They want to expand their sphere, and other ones have already gotten referrals and are doing business out of just being there and talking to developers and speaking to other agents. So, the feedback is super positive. I couldn't ask for anything. I never thought that it would be to the level that it is. It has gotten the momentum where we all are, that we want to continue to grow. And from the team that has done all the lifting to the delegates that were there on those 3 days, it goes beyond those borders, and it's brought a lot of attention to all of us and reflection, but more than anything, a vision to go forth beyond our borders.
I know it was so successful, and I've heard about all the success. Unfortunately, I was not there with everyone, but I know just being there had to be an amazing experience to see the women from all around the world gathering there and collaborating. And what I find when I do travel around the world and speak with women is they all want the same thing. They all want to be role models for the future generations, and they all want to be taken serious in the business, and they all want longevity. So what you did there is you connected all those pieces, which I think is fabulous. However, I have to ask you, what are some of the lessons that you learned from organizing this event in Dubai? Because I know it was a huge overtaking.
So flexibility is key when dealing with international logistics and timelines. That was a challenge all the way from preparation to when we were actually there. We were approached at the last minute. We were asked, and it kind of like took a big gap into our day, but it didn't, it didn't dart like it didn't create a bad experience. We still roll with the punches. We're Women's Council Realtors. We persevere, we grow, and we learn. I think that also I learned that success lies in collaboration. So we're very big on that, and we will continue to get even stronger on that because I think that's where the strength is. Also, the importance of cultural sensitivity. Sometimes we may speak a language, they might receive it in another way, or vice versa. So that's something that, we have to be, if we're leading the program and we're leading the trade mission, we need to be open. Because for me, for example, I wasn't so educated in this realm. So I faced a challenge and I laid back on feedback from mentors that have been in this realm to understand the reason behind the actions and not take things, personal, and try to just navigate and collaborate these challenges. But overall, I think one of the lessons that we learn is that through collaboration, we empower not only ourselves, but we empower entire generations of real estate professionals.
Yes, and kudos to you, Sorellis, truthfully, for taking on this task and making a difference in so many people's lives. I mean, it is totally amazing. And the key word when you're dealing with international is flexibility, definitely, so we have to be flexible. Well, thank you, Sorellis. I'm going to move on to Michelle Rojos. Now, Michelle was, of course, part of the education portion that put together a full day of speakers and content. So Michelle, how did you decide on what content and how to line up the speakers for the event?
Well, Pam, thank you so much for having me here. It was a very great experience, definitely. I wish that I could take the credit by myself, but I did. It was not all on me. I can tell you that one of the big keys that Sorellis had a great team. I think that's been one of the successes and everything that she's taken on is the team of taking all the different steps. So when it got to me, not that it was easy, but it was a lot easier than it would have been to start from the beginning. That I think it was, all I knew was that we wanted to do a collaboration and have a full day to highlight women and show, all of the impact that we have there. So it was kind of like based from that, just kind of see what is important, what are the conversations that we as women are having right now in the business, what could a global agent want to know, and from there it kind of stemmed to what content we wanted to bring forward, and we kind of brought it down into questions. But when it comes to the speaker lineup, I think that we there was a team that was out there looking for people in our industry, not just real estate agents, women. We they reached out to developers, brokers, investors. We had legal experts that are part of our core group that do international business so that they can bring that perspective, plus also since they're familiar with our local perspective. So I would definitely say it was a team effort that worked together to come up with the speakers. And then from there, I did have a co-chair that helped me tremendously, and we would bounce information back also on it, came up with the topics based on the speakers that were brought in and kind of aligned them to where they fit better in the panels that we set up.
So team is the key word there. And what that tells all of us is we can't do it alone.
Yeah.
We have to get help from others. And that's what's very key. And that's something we learn as we go through leadership. Because most of us want to do everything ourselves, right? And we think we can handle it. But what we realize is we are better together, as President Tammy says, and work
Absolutely.
together. What I want to know is what topics, well, first of all, how many speakers did you have?
We had probably close to, I would say probably 30, and we had to add in, that kind of what Sorella says is be flexible. We did have to be flexible and adjusting certain panels and certain additional speakers that obviously came from the collaboration, because everything was about doing something together. But it was kind of like 30, a little bit over 30 that we had that were willing to go on this adventure with us and this new experience, because at the end of the day is we just knew that we were going to an international property showcase in Dubai, and we were going to do a collaboration with Women's Council Miami-Dade. So we really didn't know what, I mean, I had never been to Dubai, at least Sorelis had that experience. This was my first time at this event. It was the first time for a lot of our speakers. So I think that that was kind of like, okay, we'll go. We went in together. And we made it work that way.
I mean, that's a lot of juggling, 30. I mean, think about that, everyone. I mean, having 30 customers at one time and trying to help them get through the process. I mean, that's a lot. And so what topics do you think generated the most interest?
Um, the biggest interest, and I'll just touch on that. It's not necessarily just that it was 30, is that we had 30 or more women and men, because we had some men in our panel that were, they had, their strengths are not just in one area. It's in different areas, and trying to find where we could put them, where they could, highlight it and make sure that they're also being showcased, because they were doing this for the council. She Builds Wealth and Opportunities in International Markets are probably the ones that I would say struck the biggest chord, but there was not one panel that I can say was more, I think all of them had an impact. Everybody took something away from every single one. I mean, we did personal branding, negotiations across cultures, even balancing our business, which is, I mean, we say that we can do it. I don't really know if we can, but we try every single day, balancing all that. So in every aspect, I think that it was very well received. The fact that we even have an organization that does this, I think was the biggest eye opener to a lot of the ones that attended.
Well, this was truly a historic event. I mean, it really was, to bring a full day of women together in, across our borders and share the knowledge that we have with others, which I think was amazing. I have to ask you, what about the speakers themselves? What kind of feedback have you gotten from them with their experience?
They all are very appreciative of the experience. I think, I'm a women's council for many, many years, and it is an organization that's there to support you to grow. I think just the fact that they were asked and to be involved, obviously that declares requires preparation, requires things, is they've outgrown and found that little spark in them that has helped them in their business. So everybody has, I mean, I don't have one person that can say, oh, this was horrible, this wasn't a good experience, I don't know why I did it. Everybody has basically said, when's the next one? That kind of experience. They're stepping out from where they were, so they've all grown from this experience. And even just the idea of putting it together, because I think it's not just that day, it's everything leading up to that day, and how, and I go back to, it's always at the lead, how everything was set up and the teams and everything was done, so that that day was it was about everybody worked together, and we did our best to make it as impactful as we wanted to be able to meet that vision.
I love what you just said, because it really took people out of their comfort zone. And first, they were going to a country they have never been to, and then they were speaking. They didn't know how they would be received. So don't feel bad about saying yes to something that you may not think, am I really the qualified person to do this? Because that is how we grow, and that's how we learn, and that's how we become better. And we learn about ourselves, and we learn about other people. And so you kind of mentioned that they're like, when is this next? Do you think this will be an annual event? Do you think this is something that we're going to see? And how would you tailor it, maybe if it became an annual event for women that are attending?
Well, I'd love to participate again, and I know that I already put that out there in the universe. I definitely think, I believe that there's a couple of other countries that are knocking on the door, and the conversations will obviously open up. So I definitely think, evaluating the market at that particular time might change certain topics, because everything is, like you say, it's growth. We went in there, we gave a couple of little nuggets, and then from there, I'm sure it's going to stem that they're going to want to see something different or something. And I guess every place that we go has a different relationship with our Women's Council National or the national organization, where you're able to do, take it a step further, whether it's members and in growing in a different way in the organization. So I definitely do see that happening. I think we made a pretty loud noise, and it's trickling, and it caught certain people's eyes. So be on the lookout. I'm sure there's others that are not knocking on me, but I'm sure Soretis is getting the calls.
I think so, right, Sir Alice? Yes. So we appreciate you, Michelle. I know you and I go way back with Women's Council, and that's the beauty of this organization, is the friendships and the relationships you build around the, not only around our country, but around the globe. So thank you, Michelle, for doing what you've done.
And I just wanted, before I
And we're going to go.
knock off pretty quick, I just wanted to say thank you to my co-chair, Ruben Sanchez. So if anybody knows, we did work together, and I just wanted to make sure that, we give him a hands up there for helping us. But thank you.
Well, we appreciate Ruben, you as well. We appreciate the team that worked together. Like you said, you can't do it all yourself. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to move on to Anita Lambert, and Anita is going to have a little different perspective, which I think is going to be very interesting for everyone to listen to. And so, Anita, I want to ask you if this was your first time exploring real estate development in Dubai.
Yes, indeed it was. And I have to say, one of the reasons I was so attracted to it was because it is such a global destination. And I knew I'd have the opportunity to see and meet so many realtors and women from other walks of life.
Anita, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Please mute yourself. I'm not sure who it is. Please mute. We hear some background. Thank you. I'm sorry, Anita. Go ahead.
No worries. Just to mention the fact that 87% of the population in Dubai are foreigners. And so I knew going in there that I would have the opportunity to meet people from across the world. And that to me was a huge draw. Only 13% then are locals, so the Emiratis, the people from the Emirates. And I think one of the most attractive things also is the investment possibilities in Dubai, where there's no income tax, there's no property tax, there's no capital gains on investments. It's really very attractive. And what I was hearing from the developers there was, as soon as there's a world war anywhere, people flock to Dubai to make safe investments. And believe it or not, and I'm sure people can buy property with a suitcase of cash. They love cash. You wouldn't believe it. I was in one of the sales centers, and I went by one of the accounting rooms, and they were literally, stacking, counting cash in one of those machines. I was just blown away. Anything is possible there. They are huge forerunners of architecture, of lifestyle. It is really, really mind-blowing. And I know it's world-changing, as for many realtors who attended. It was really...
Well, the statistics, I had no idea that 87% of
Yes.
all the people, I mean, that blew my mind right off the bat.
Yes.
Now, I know you visited several different developments. Was
We
there
did.
any that really stood out to you, and why did they stand out?
Just the size of these sales centers. For example, one of them was the size of a ballroom, and they had these huge plans, or I should say models, community models of the actual community, and hospitals and parks and everything that goes along with all the housing, of course. And in this one ballroom, I should say, they launch a new project every month, this one developer. And their most recent project was sold out in 10 hours. I'm not kidding you. They had $3.2 billion worth of real estate, 3,000 properties sold out in 10 hours. I mean, this is to give you the idea of the demand that is there from across the world. Who want to invest, and there are very affordable properties. I mean, you can start with a one-bedroom in the 300s, and of course, the sky is the ceiling, right, for pricing. So everything is definitely possible there. And branding is huge. Following for the luxury market, following the branding, like Bengati follows, I think it's Mercedes, and just like Ritz. So people know if they're buying a Ritz property in Dubai, it's going to have the same kind of luxury and status and reliability of product, just like across the world. So
You know, so what is, and I know I don't want to get into it too deep, but they cooperate with us as realtors.
absolutely. Absolutely, they do. And we were with a group who is very well founded there in Dubai. And actually, Brian Woods is involved in this company in Dubai. And they're the ones that we dealt with. And they really are fabulous because they tell you how things work and they take you to the best developers. So you're not spending a lot of time, spinning your wheels trying to figure out who's good, who isn't, who you can recommend, and who you can't. So they definitely have some great opportunities and are happy to talk about all the different levels for cooperation.
So you talked about you connected with the developers and that you possibly have potential partners and referrals, I would say, right? I mean, with your connections that you made.
Yes. I mean, do you mean for developers or do you mean for
Business for your own business, referring business back and forth.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we are talking to some other realtors and clients here now in Florida who might be interested in coming out to Dubai to see what the investment opportunities are like. And actually, I should say that they're probably their next trade. They have ongoing trade missions. Their season, I should say, or it's so hot there now that they like to do just like when our season is November to April is when it's cooler. So they recommend coming then. And I
Mhm.
believe they're going to be planning another trade mission for November, December of this year. So I can pass along information as I hear it.
And so what about you? I mean, I know that you are really into development. I mean, it's in your bio. Did
Right.
you, any of these tours influence your thinking on how you might want to invest in the
Absolutely.
area?
Because they just know how to do it. I mean, they just make such a smooth experience of development and construction, and they are just so well staffed and organized. It is really, really stunning. I think we may have a PDF that we're going to put in the chat, but I'm happy to help at any time with some more information on different developers, and I can send out some links to projects. But yeah, they just really know how to create trends and design. I mean, the architecture there is truly, truly outstanding. You may have heard, of course, of the Burj Al Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world. It took a while to get up there. It's like for Disney World, 2 or 3 hours to get to the top. But speaking of Disney
Gosh.
World, there is a Disney World coming to Abu Dhabi where there are stunning new museums. There's a new Louvre museum. There is a Guggenheim under construction that is incredible. I mean, the UAE paid France $480 million to use the Louvre name
Wow.
because they wanted to build one in Abu Dhabi. And they're really growing it. And one thing I would like to show you is a book called My Story, and it's by Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. He's in the government, and he's one of the top leaders now in Dubai, and his family was totally instrumental in creating the unification of the UAE Emirates in 1971. And it's a very easy read. He's a very humble man, and these leaders know what they're doing. And they have a 2030 plan, a 2040 plan, a 2050 plan.
Wow.
I mean, they are very, very organized. So it was truly, truly eye-opening. So
Well, and how, you travel all over the world. How would you compare their development in Dubai to other countries? I know it's new compared to a lot of countries. And the other question I want to ask you is, do you think they'll ever be done building in Dubai, or do they just keep adding more land?
I don't think they will ever be done. I think the only limit is how much land do they have. But on the other hand, they create land. I mean, they built, was it Palm Jumeirah, whatever it's called, that is just eye-opening and stunning, and they created this island looking like a palm tree. I think they will help influence the growth of their neighbors, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. I don't think, I mean, the sky is the limit for them. They don't see anything stopping their design. If you're an architectural student, you need to go to Dubai, study there. It's just, there's no limits. For them, there's no limits. And that is what is so refreshing. Because here we work with city planning commissions, commissioners. Oh, we can't do this. Oh, we can't do that. Oh, it can't look like this or can't look like that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Go to Dubai and see what is created. What is the art of the possible?
So the site tours that you did, would you recommend any particular ones if someone was wanting to go to Dubai?
Absolutely, and I'm happy to share actually in the chat my it says WCR report regarding Dubai. There's a couple of links. There's one called Sinia Island, and actually there was a big video of that in the IPS show by the developer called Shobha, S-O-B-H-A. And they are super well organized, very, very good, very reliable, incredible quality of construction. And the owner personally takes part in that. This Sinia Island, I think, is a partnership with one of the royal family, I should say. And they've been working with the government for 8 years to develop this. And that is an actual island. That is not a fake or created island. And they have all kinds of properties there, beautiful marina. There's lots of different investment opportunities. Yeah, I'm happy to share the names of some of the developers for those who are interested in hearing more about it.
Well, you have if you want more information, it was in the chat. So just scroll in your chat. You can download the information. It's super valuable. We want to thank you, Anita, for
Absolutely.
giving this information and being a part of the global environment. So thank you so much. And
You're
so
welcome. Thank you.
we're going to go ahead and move on to our national president. So Tammy Noel Adams is here. Tammy, I gave an introduction. I know you had some family issues. We're so glad that you're able to join us today, and we hope everything goes well with your family. But I want to ask you specifically, as the national president of the oldest women's organization in the country and in the world, let's face it, what motivated you to attend this first time ever educational session with over 30 speakers we heard in Dubai?
It was actually phenomenal. My takeaways from Dubai were, I should say, how it got started was, Celeste was like, she's like a bull. You're either going to say yes to her or she's going to come at you, right? But also to see that this was, a local leader that saw a bigger vision. And I was so impressed with the fact that she saw exactly what her network could do with this collaboration with Dubai. She went there the year before. She'd done her homework. She created the relationships that needed to be created. She did everything right the first time she went. And I heard all about that wonderful trip. And so when she came to me and asked me, would this be something that Women's Council could do? I did take it to the board. And the reason we did not sign an MOU, just for clear composure, is IPS is not a women's organization. It is a conference organization. However, the relationship with that organization in Dubai is very, very strong. So they had a lot of representation there. Sorellis was telling me that it was one of the largest ones that she had seen, especially from the year before. But to hear her say how important it was, and then to hear how important it was to the Miami Association, where I went and had a tour of that association, and to hear their CEO talk about how many times they've been to Dubai and the effects of their relationship with Dubai and how the business has come both ways, come from Miami and come over to Dubai. I wanted to be a part of that. I mean, I felt the energy just on the state side, but then the moment we showed up, it was unbelievable, Pamela. I have never seen so many women lined up who don't have a NARDS number, or what you want to call M1 number now, that wanted to be involved in Women's Council. And I don't even think they saw Women's Council of Realtors. I think all they saw was women, and they were just like lined up. Even the men were like, what is this? What does this mean? But then to see women from the United States that saw this big booth that IPS gave us, and I'm sure that was the work of Sorellis and her team putting all this together. It was unbelievable, Pamela. I mean, I took pictures, I done videos. We had at least 2 women that were from the United States that rejoined Women's Council simply because of their relationship with the council before and seeing where the council was now on the global side. They said they never would have thought that they would have come to a country outside of the United States, and here's this huge room, this huge, it wasn't a room, but it was like, sort of like NAR trade show, but we were like front and center. It was like massive. I mean, I was taking pictures like, this is how we have to do it. This is what we have to do right here. Because the impact, I can't even describe, the impact was exactly where we need to be. If we're going to say we want to be the voice of women in real estate, then by George, we got to be at the tables to have the voice of women in real estate. And it set a tone for me. I was like, look, this is how we have to do it from now on. If IPS can do it, we can do it. It doesn't make any sense why we wouldn't. But to see that, and then to see the hunger of the women in that country who believe they're realtors, because they're not realtors, they're agents, right? And we know there's a difference, but the educational piece is what I spoke to Sorellis about too, is teaching them how to become a realtor, teaching the brokers over there how do their agents become a realtor so they can actually physically join Women's Council. So all of that was just so inspiring and so interesting to me. So I know I said a lot, but every time I get a chance to speak about what I saw in Dubai, it was mind-blowing. And to know that a local leader, not a state leader, a local leader did it and had that team behind her. And when I tell you she has a strong team, she had a strong team. Every one of those players, Michelle, I'm looking to see Michelle, Elizabeth, every one of them had a role to play there. And then to see the women from all over the country come and speak on that platform, and they were all Women's Council. I was like, wow, it was exactly where I needed to be. Exactly where I needed to be. Yeah.
I think for anyone who has traveled outside of our country and interacted with women coming together, as we all have,
Yeah.
there's an energy that is way beyond what you can't bottle it. You can only experience it and take it home in your body and your soul, and then spread it out. So
Yes.
I also want to ask you about, this was an educational event. It was training. It was all the things we spoke with Michelle about the overall of all the education and training that was done. How do you think that contributes to empowering women across the globe,
Huge.
whether they're investors, professionals, or entrepreneurs?
Huge. It was huge. I can say that they don't get that kind of education everywhere. So when we can bring that type of education to them, they grow more, they learn more, they become stronger women leaders. They impact and empower the other women that are around them. So the education was top notch. I mean, you know what it's like, Pamela. We go in conferences at 7:30 in the morning. We're not out, don't get out until, sometimes 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And that whole time was about teaching. I can tell you that every one of those educators that came from the United States brought their A game. And whether the sound worked, whether they could plug, their cord in or not, it didn't matter. They went straight to work. And I was tremendously proud of them and watched them perform as professionals that get on stage every day. And some of them, this was their first time ever speaking, much less traveling abroad to Dubai, which was and on their own dime, Pamela.
Yes.
their own dime
Yeah.
out of their own pocket to give back. That is powerful. That's
Yeah.
impactful. And unless we as women say we're going to do that, then we're not going to see a change unless we do that. So I commend every one of them, the men and the women that were in the room that day, because they gave 100% of themselves and they came out of their own pocket. And that to me was, I'm like for an hour and a
I
half.
know, and I totally agree with you. We are so fortunate, and it's better to give than to receive, right? And
Absolutely.
that's what these people do is they give because they know that if you can help someone else, then you're doing what you need to do, and that is a legacy that you can leave behind. I'm
That's
going to ask you this one final question before we start to wrap up because we could be here. We talked about this earlier. We
yeah,
could be here for hours talking
I
about what
agree.
happened.
Yeah.
It was just totally incredible. But what moment during the event that really stood out to you and made it feel especially meaningful to you as a woman leader in the industry?
Well, I can tell you a moment that shocked me. We had a dinner the night after this conference, and I walked in right about the time it was about to get started, and Sorellis, I can't remember the name of the guy that grabbed me and said, "Hurry, we've been waiting for you."
Oh,
Oh my God, please don't tell me I have to speak. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. The dinner, we haven't ate dinner yet. But he said, we've been waiting for you. And he took me to the front of the table and I got an opportunity to sit with Sorellis, the CEO of Miami, and Michelle's CEO of Miami, Tiki. Am I saying that correct, Sorellis? Tiki. Wow. Um, she's powerful. She's been in this industry 30 something years. So when I tell you that's a woman that I want to sit next to, women, when you get an opportunity to sit next to somebody that has been in the industry like that, you just take your little hat off and you listen to everything they have to say. And it was a powerful moment for me, sitting at that table. And then when they were given an award, I just sat there because it wasn't my award to get, right? But the honor of the title of the national president is what took me to the stage. I was shaking my head no because they were already on stage, and a good leader never takes the shine. It should always be given to the people that have been doing the work, right? I just showed up, to be quite honest with you, but by virtue of the title, they pulled me up on stage, and humbled, to say humbled, because they did every drop of the work. So to respect the position, respect the title, my hat goes off to them, but. I simply just showed up. These women and men, they did all the work, and a true leader lets that shine. But
yeah.
that was
Well,
an aha moment for me. It was beautiful.
and Tammy, we truly appreciate your leadership. This year has been amazing, and you are a role model for so many people, and you inspire with your open heart and open hands. So we appreciate all that you have done and for attending and showing the world who we really are as the Women's Council of Realtors. And so I'm going to go ahead and move on. And Sorellis, I know you have a few special people that you would like to introduce to say just a few words to the group. Time is winding up, but we have some time. So go ahead, Sorellis.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Tammy, for supporting us. Thank you for being there. And especially on a year where your agenda has no room, you made room for us, and this wasn't on the agenda. So let's just be clear that, you're giving all of us the credit, but the credit is also its own to you and to Carolyn that made the time and the entire state line and said yes. And this was less than a year of making, but you all showed up strong, and that's what makes us unique in our organization, that we're Women's Council and we show up for each other. With that said, let me introduce two special delegates that are in the global realm that have expert knowledge and experience, not only in Dubai, but in many other conferences. First, I'll introduce Erica Solomon. Please welcome Erica Solomon, a Biltmore native with over 25 years of real estate experience. She began with her own property management firm in 1997 and transitioned to sales 2005. Driven by passion, professionalism, and consumer advocacy, Erica has served on numerous boards and currently holds leadership roles with the Maryland Realtors Global Committee, the CRS Maryland DC chapter. She's also immediate past president of the Greater Biltmore Women's Council of Realtors. Outside of work, she enjoys global travel, remodeling homes, and mystery novels. Welcome, Erica. Give us in a few words, your experience, especially this year, since you saw our pavilion, you saw our faces, and you just were like, what women's council? That's all I could recall.
Well, first, Cerellis, I want to say thank you so much for reaching out to me while we were in Dubai, and that's the reason why I'm here today. And I want to say, Tammy, thank you so much for your warm welcome and hospitality while we were in Dubai. You made me feel, the entire team, and Michelle, you just made me feel like I was back home in the Women's Council family. And Michelle and I were members, we went through Leadership Academy together at NAR. But I'm gonna make this brief. When I first walked into the room, and I'm scanning, I've been there 8 times. And when I saw this huge sign, Women's Council, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. The connection, the energy with just the sign itself, and it was like super oversized. And everyone was there just welcoming, warm, inviting. And my experience was just so overwhelming that I became a member. You know, I had let my membership lapse because I was on to something else in my career. But I came back to Women's Council specifically because of my interactions with Sorellis, with Michelle, with Tammy, and all of my other Women's Council family members that I saw. So for me, that was, it's like Women's Council needs to be a staple in that conference. Okay, so you keep coming back. I will always be there. But I want to say what was most powerful message Women's Council conveyed is that women are not only contributors, but also key drivers of innovation and growth in the global real estate market. Your presence, opportunities for collaboration, help um, bridge between US and international markets. That was huge. The message was loud and clear. And I left Dubai feeling like a sense of pride of what Women's Council represents. And I'm more excited about the role that Women's Council is shaping in the industry worldwide. This is a movement that deserves the continued support and application of every platform. So Women's Council, thank you so much for showing up in Dubai. I look forward to, indulging myself with your council. So you'll see me in Florida. I only live in Baltimore. It's a 2-hour flight. I'll be there, and I'm happy to engage either in Florida and anywhere in the world, especially Dubai.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Erica.
Erica. Thank you. And now I would like to introduce Ruben Sanchez. As Michelle previously mentioned, he was our co-chair for the education. Meet Ruben Sanchez, a real estate expert with 20 years of experience specializing in South Florida luxury and pre-construction properties. With international reach in markets like UAE, Mexico, and Colombia, Ruben brings global insight and premium access to Miami top developments. He holds multiple certifications, including the CIPS, ABR, serves as one of the board governors in the Miami Realtors, and as a Florida Realtors Director. Whether it's a primary resident or international investment, Ruben delivers with excellence. Thank you for joining us, Ruben. And maybe you could give us a little story about your relationships and how they transform into transactions.
Thank you so much. Good morning, WCR members and leaders. As mentioned, I have had the pleasure of attending the Dubai International Property Show for the last 4 years. 3 previous years with the Miami Realtors Young Professional Global Network, and now with Women's Council. I think that the initiative that Surelis and the whole network locally and nationally took to be able to deliver this product was great, not just for us, but also for that market as well. Real estate in Dubai, even though it's very busy, a lot of the movers and shakers are women. So it was very important, in my opinion, very pivotal for us to be able to present not just the network, but what we do and the Realtor brand as well. Some of the examples that I have for having success has been being able to connect with local developers in Dubai and signing memorandums of understanding. And referral network, referral agreements as well. Bringing those developments here to South Florida and Miami, particularly, simply because the market is very, very similar. So we're able to tie, our product and our market to the Dubai market because it's just as international. So I still recommend that whether you're thinking locally and trying to expand globally, I think this initiative, and the rumor has it that we're probably going back next year with Women's Council, so we'll see how that goes. But we do invite you, and we want to cheer you on to be able to take this initiative to think outside the box. That way we can go ahead and bring not just local services but global services to our clients and customers wherever. Dubai is here in Miami. I don't know if you folks know. Damak, one of the largest developers in Dubai, is here. So you can see that the relationship is going to grow, in my opinion. So the intention of us going back to Dubai is just to make sure that we can bridge the gap and make sure that we have other markets to be able to offer again to our clients and our customers. And I think that through the Women's Council, it's a great initiative. Not everybody knows the Realtor brand in that side of the world, but we are there. We're making presence, and now with the Women's Council of Realtors, we're going to go ahead and make sure that we seal the deal and continue to expand and foster that relationship. So thank you so much for the opportunity to not just be an ambassador, but to be part of the co-chair of the educational committee with Michelle. Thank you, Surelis, and thank you, Tammy, for the opportunity, and thank you also for your initiative to be able to make this a success. And cheers to next year.
Sounds good. Well, thank you. Thank you to our special guest. And are there any international attendees here today? I know we had sent out a little shout out. I'm not sure. It's a little different time.
We have Joao on the call.
And
yes,
me,
Muted.
Igor.
And
Yes,
please.
we're from Brazil. I'm sorry, my
and
camera was off. Hi, guys. Thank you for the invitation. We're
Well,
actually from Brazil. We had our delegation there. We had like a strength power women with 23 delegates, and I met Shirley. So we love actually making contact with the Women's Council and see how strong we can be together with Women's Council, with NAR, and actually showing Dubai that we are huge. And I think Miami Association of Realtors were with us at the dinner gala, and we made a lot of noise. So the people
course.
saw that we had like the strength.
So it's wonderful that you're joining us today. And is it Joa?
João, yes.
Hello, my friends. Sorry, não speak English, mas vou tradução. Igor fazendo a
Yes,
tradução.
I'm the translator for João.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Vim entrar nessa reunião aqui para trazer energia do Brasil. Lá.
Yeah. He joined the meeting to bring Brazil energy.
We love it. We love the energy.
Estou muito contente com o convite da Surelis. Foi um prazer. Vocês
He's
realmente da Human
very
Conscience fizeram
happy with the invitation.
a diferença com as mulheres. Isso é muito inovador.
Women's Council made the difference with the women at IPS.
E para a gente que foi também uma inovação, pela primeira vez nós levamos uma delegação particular para Dubai.
Yes, it was the first time that we took a private delegation to Dubai with 500 people. 65 people. I'm
E
sorry.
80 pessoas e 65
Yeah,
delegados, a maior delegação
55.
particular. E,
Yeah.
e para a gente é muito orgulho, a gente que nós somos brasileiros, e ver vocês agora aqui, depois de algum tempo, né? Aqui a gente está vendo vocês aqui
So
na telinha
so
aqui, é muito bom.
yeah, so proud of bringing, especially the women, the Brazilian women strength to this, and seeing some faces, some family faces here.
E em breve a
Well,
gente vai ter várias surpresas aí. Estamos viabilizando essa parceria aqui com as mulheres do Brasil, com a Human Consults.
Yeah. So as soon as possible, we are bringing some news and some partnerships with Brazilian delegates, and we want to make this bridge between the Women's Council, the NAR, Brazil, and the IPS.
E estaremos aí juntos, sempre levando essa alegria, essa energia e com certeza fazendo negócio com vocês também.
Being together every time with this Brazilian strength and happiness, and helping as much as we can.
Então,
Well, we appreciate it. And we thank you for joining us today. And we look forward to many more events where we can share and grow together. As Tammy says, and as our state president, I'm sorry I was remiss without recognizing Natalie, who is our Women's Council of Realtors, Florida State President. Natalie, would you like to say a few words to the group real quickly before we end this webinar?
Just thank you all for taking time from your day to be part of this also historic Zoom meeting, bringing countries across the globe together and empowering women across the globe. My short time in Dubai was life-altering, not only for myself, but my daughter, who I took with me. And I have to tell you, it has just totally changed the way that I look at the world today. And I think everyone should experience travel and the empowerment that comes from being part of the Women's Council globally. So thank you all who made this such a huge success. Sorellis, for your vision and your determination to see it through. It really, it was inspiring. So thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here and for actually being part of this and giving us the green light to go ahead and move forward with something like this. We couldn't have done it without that. So we appreciate you as well and your team this year. And we also have Catherine Sakis, who is on the Florida State line joining us. I'm not sure if anyone else is there, but one more thing before we go, time is running out, but Rachel, similarly, the vice chair of the global project team, wants to share an upcoming event so you can be aware of it.
Thanks, Pamela. I'd like to let everybody know that we have an education session coming up on Global at the Women's Council Day that'll be part of the Florida Realtors Convention in August. It'll be on August 23rd, and we'll have a 45-minute session. It's going to be an engaging session to introduce our members to earning the CIPS designation, which is the Certified International Property Specialist certification. It'll be called Unlocking Global Real Estate, Your Path to Becoming a Certified International Property Specialist. So we look forward to you all joining us that day. It'll be a panel discussion, and we did one in January at our state convention that was called As the World Turns, Personal Stories in Real Estate from our panelists. And this second series of our education will be introducing CIPS and helping our members learn how to earn that designation, and then experiences of people that already have it and how they're actually utilizing that. So we're excited to have you join us.
Yes, more information to follow, and we will have another webinar coming up in October. We're still working out the details. So that's it for now. We don't, unless you have a dying question that you want to ask, I think we can call this webinar to a close. Again, a big kudos to all of you for your time, and Sorellis for your vision and making it happen, for President Tammy Knoll Adams for attending and being part of it. We really appreciate all of you, because we are better together, and that's the way we look at the world. So thank you so much, and we look forward to, did someone have a question before we leave?
Pamela, I just wanted to remind everybody that I will be traveling to the Dominican Republic for ASILA, and then also for AMSI in September. We will sign another MOU with AMSI in September. So I'm looking forward to that as well. That'll be our third or fourth time going back to AMSI, our second at SILA. So stay tuned. We're going to let all the members know how they can participate, on their own, and get there and have a great time if you choose to come. But yes, we're going to continue this global initiative, Pamela. We spoke about that many years ago.
Yes, we did. So thank you, everyone. With that being said, make it a good day, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.
you.